Head Bustin' Boxing, we are back in the house, and this one is going to be a little different. Matter of fact, it's going to be a lot different. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and jump into it so you'll know what I'm talking about. I came across this article a little earlier, and I wanted to share it with you. And let me just go ahead and get on in. It says, "One punch at a time for transgender boxers fight to compete. Patricia Manuel is the first transgender man to fight in a professional boxing match." Told you it was going to be different. It says Santa Clara boxer Patricia Manuel was walking, Patricio, hope I'm pronouncing that right, was walking alone in his East Los Angeles neighborhood a few weeks ago after a training run when a police officer approached him and asked what he was doing. As a black man, Manuel, 33, was used to extra scrutiny from the police. As a black transgender man, the first to compete in a professional boxing match, he was used to extra scrutiny, period. He has encountered it regularly, he says, since he began a medical transition from a woman to a man 6 years ago. "When I started passing as a man, I was passed as a black man," he said Wednesday at Levi Stadium after a symposium on LGBTQ athletes sponsored by the 49ers and San Jose State Institute for the Study of Sports, Society, and Social Change. "Suddenly the world was treating me very differently," he added. "Now I'm used to walking around being seen as a threat." Now I take it he's of a Latino descent, because he said now I'm being seen as a black man. But anyway, Manuel said he'd rather be seen as a threat in the boxing ring where he once won 5 national amateur women's titles and came close to qualifying for the London Olympics in 2012. In sports involving transgender athletes, the biggest debate usually focuses on the fairness of people who are genetically male competing in women events. Like Renee Richards playing tennis in the 1970s, transgender athletes Parinya Charoenphol, a boxer, and Fallon Fox, an MMA fighter, have faced such backlash in recent years for competing against women. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. You a man fighting on women? Like, I'm sorry, that's bananas. I'm sorry. Manuel competing in men events has a slightly different challenge. Every time I go into there as a black trans man, I don't get to just be myself, said Manuel, who has tattooed the word bash on one hand and back on the other. "I am someone who is willing to risk being hated by you to live my truth," he said when he entered the ring for his professional debut December 8th in a fight at the Fantasy Spring Resort Casino in Indio in the super flyweight division, 128 pounds. He heard every possible jeer and cheer. Manuel tried to focus instead on his opponent, Hugo Aguilar of Mexico, and he succeeded. He controlled much of the 4-round bout to win in a decision that was unanimous. By winning on points, Manuel said he made a point. "We're expected to lose in everything, not just boxing but in life," he said, referring to transgender people. "They were not booing me, but booing their own narrow interpretations that were proven wrong." Let me see. This article is kind of long, so I'm just going to stick to the quotables at this point. "At first they say you're going to get your ass beat because you're a girl," Manuel said. He added, using a slang term for the drugs, "Then it's your juicing. That's how you're able to do it." Manuel, who is known as Kakuhate, what I can't pronounce that, or Peanut, because of the small size of his head, was not sure he would even get to the point that he was the subject of such debate. After being open about transitioning to become a male, he lost his coach and was dropped by his boxing gym. He finally found a welcoming club in the Los Angeles area that supported his effort. The California State Boxing Commission also balked at issued him an amateur license because it had never encountered such a situation, but officials relented in 2016 after the International Olympic Committee ruled that female-to-male transgender athletes could compete in the Rio Games. I mean, this is a little out there. It says, I can't reach people in different ways than the activist because I am an athlete, he said. It would be irresponsible for me to not reach out to people because that's where I can impact change. Okay. I don't have much to say, but I will say something. I don't think transgender men should be fighting regular men. I don't think transgender women should be fighting women. And when I say transgender women, I mean women that were men turned into women, or a man that's turned into a woman fighting a woman, or a woman that's a woman and was turned into a man fighting a man. I think if they're going to do this, the whole transgender thing in sports, it's going to have to level itself out and make it so transgender women are competing against transgender women, or transgender men are competing against transgender men. Either that, or if you are a transgender woman who was a man, you need to be competing with men. Or if you're a transgender woman who became a man, you need to be competing against women. That's only fair, in my opinion. But who am I? I'm just, a YouTube subscriber / boxing reporter. But I did find the article rather interesting. Let me know what you think. Should he be allowed to fight other men? And what if he gets hurt? Will it be a lawsuit involved? I mean, who knows? But this is Head Busting Boxing, Fight Doctor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Hit me up in the comment section. Like I said, let me know what you think. Should transgender men, or excuse me, because I'm a little confused, should transgender women who are turned into men be able to compete against men? And should transgender women who were once a man, who are now a woman, be able to compete with other women? Hit me up and let me know what you think. This is the Fight Doctor representing Head Busting Boxing. I am out.